He could be a 49er in a couple of days. He almost certainly will be on some NFL team's roster. Washington State wide receiver, Easop Winston. Easop, thanks so much for coming on. How you doing?
Appreciate it, man, for having me. I'm doing well, man. I'm blessed to be in the time we live in now. And, just taking in all the positives going on in my life rather than negatives.
Some people watching right now may not have heard of you, but you're a local guy. Would you just tell people where you grew up and where you went to high school?
I grew up in San Francisco, California. I live in South San Francisco now. Kind of grew up on the suburban side pretty much my whole life. I went to Sayre High School in San Mateo. I actually transferred from a public school called Jefferson High School my freshman year. My mom took me out the blue and was like, "We gonna try out Sayre," just because it was a better fit for me. All boys, I could be more focused, and it was just a better all around school for me. And it was a great decision that I made.
What position did you play at Sayre?
So when I got there, my sophomore and junior, I played corner, actually. We ran a wing T offense.
Wow.
So the receivers weren't really involved in the offense. Like, the receivers probably got 1 or 2 targets a game since we weren't wing T. So I played corner just to get more action. I was all right at it, but I wasn't having the most fun, I would say, at it. And I knew I was an offensive guy, growing up, but I just played corner to help the team or whatever because that's where they needed me most. And then my senior year, we switched to spread. And that's when my Coach Walsh, he was like, "What do you think about playing receiver?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to play receiver, like, for sure." And that's how it happened.
Is it true that you received no scholarships out of high school?
Yeah, I had zero.
Why? Because you switched positions?
Yeah, that was my first year playing receiver.
Got it.
So I wasn't polished at all. I didn't even have a receivers coach in high school. So it was just, the start of something new.
When did you finally land on Washington State's radar? How did that happen?
A week before signing day. So while I was at City, we had a guy named Shalom Luwani. So when I gray shirted in 2014, he actually committed to Wazoo and was there my gray shirt year. The year after he got there, Robert Taylor got there, who was also from Mount Junior College. Then Anthony Gordon the year after him. So they started recruiting hard out of City. Yeah, it became a pipeline. And then when I was at City, I was like, it'd be cool to go play with Gordo again. Like, a guy that, we won a national championship in junior college. But they still weren't on my radar. They weren't contacting me or anything. And day before signing day, they offered me out the blue.
When you say out the blue, did they see a highlight tape? Do you know what it was that finally landed you on their radar?
Well, when they actually contacted me the day I signed to Eastern Michigan. Oh. And I was just coming off my official visit from Eastern Michigan. So that was the only official visit I had, Eastern Michigan. And like I said, Washington State wasn't on my radar at all. And I actually committed to Eastern Michigan, put it all over social media and everything. So, my family and friends thought I was going to Eastern Michigan. And the day after my official, while Anthony Gordon texted me, he was like, "Congratulations." He was like, "Congratulations." And I was like, "Thanks." And then 10 or 15 minutes after, I just dropped my sister off at her basketball practice, and Coach Nickel, who was the outside receivers coach at the time, called me. And I was like, "Hello." I didn't know the area code of Washington at the time or anything. And I was like, "What's up, Coach?" And he was like, "I heard you just committed to Eastern Michigan, but he was like, we like you here." He was like, we watched the film, and we'll have a better idea of whether we'll offer you or not tomorrow," which was the next day. So, I had a final that next day, and I just was jittery. Like, I couldn't even take the final I had at my junior college. I couldn't even take it. It was online, and I wasn't focused because I'm like, is Washington State going to offer me or not? Like, I'm committed to a whole different school. So I couldn't focus. Like, I didn't eat that next morning. I was just sitting at this table that I am now, just like, all right, what's going to happen? And he called me out the blue. I didn't even know when he was going to call me the next day, but he was like, he was like, he told me he was going to call me, but I didn't know, what the outcome would be. So he called me and he was like, "Yeah, man, we like you. We came to consensus as a staff that, that you would fit great into this offense, and, we think you're a good guy. So, yeah, we're going to offer you," just like that. And the next day was my signing day. So I flipped.
How life works out. I mean, you were this close to going to Michigan, and you got to see the West Coast. That's great.
Yeah. No, it was a dream come true. I always wanted to play close to home in the Pac-12. So, even though I was taking a chance, I took a chance on myself, and I was able to, I knew I was going to be able to live with, the outcome however it went, because I was following my dream.
What do you like about being a wide receiver as opposed to, say, cornerback or any other position?
Just having the ball in your hands and being able to make highlight plays, I would say, score touchdowns. I mean, I feel like there's no better position, being able to catch the ball different ways, being able to route a corner up, as we say. You got Moss, the thing that Randy Moss started on this show. It's just receiver, just the best position ever to be.
How big are your hands?
They're 10 inches.
Can we see them?
Yeah.
That's a big hand. It's about twice the size of mine.
Yeah.
What does it feel like to catch a pass in a game? What do you see? What do you feel? What do you think?
I mean, first of all, it's a great feeling, and just I do a lot of I look before I even get into my route. When I'm in my stance, it's just a feeling like this next play could be a big play for me, and that's my mindset every time I step up to the line. And I identify the coverage. I see if they're in man or zone, and I just kind of just work off that. But when it's man coverage, I'm licking my chops, man. I'm like, this could be my opportunity to make it it's either going to be a good play or a bad play, because the ball could come your way. And I think every receiver could say that when it's man coverage across the board, and you just got to beat the man in front of you. I think that's the greatest feeling about playing wide receiver to me.
That one-on-one, me against you.
That one-on-one. Yeah, right.
Were you surprised the NFL didn't invite you to the combine? And why didn't they?
I don't know, man. I wasn't surprised, though, to be honest, because I've been looked over my whole life, so it didn't surprise. I was kind of preparing myself for the worst. So, people expected me to, feel a certain way when I didn't get it. But I was preparing myself. Like, I knew. I didn't know, but I wouldn't have been surprised if I didn't. So when I didn't, I was like, oh, okay. It's just a repeating process of kind of what's been going on my whole life. Washington State popped up on my radar late. I didn't have any offers out of high school. I was at junior college for 3 years. I gray shirted and played too. So it was a lot of times I wanted to give up there. And, it's kind of been a repeating process. I got to Washington State, had a red shirt when I thought I should have been playing. So yeah, it's just something I had to go through again. And I know at the end of the day, I'm going to be placed where I belong, believe in God. My faith in God is crazy high. My mom's a pastor. So, faith is, I don't have a problem with, believing in what's for me is for me.
Didn't your mom make a really famous song? Right?
It's called Only God Can Do It. You can stream it on all platforms. But
okay.
Yeah.
I just want to shout out your mom real quick.
Yeah, shout out mom. Shout out Renee Winston, man. That's my number one fan.
How did you get the idea for the virtual pro day?
Well, I figured so a couple weeks before April 1st, which was supposed to be my actual pro day up in Pullman, it got canceled, and that's when Bleacher Report made the whole notification of everything and made the whole notice. So, it actually wasn't my idea, but I knew I was going to have to do something, to modify it and get my name out there. So, the guys up there at Stars where I trained at, said this is what we're going to do. We're going to do it just like a pro day. And then my speed coach Gary Kabline, he was like, for the 40, we're actually not going to do hand time. We're going to do laser. So I did laser. So we kind of simulated it like a combine. So, it was great to, be able to, work around that, even though I didn't get to, participate in my actual pro day.
Who filmed it?
So Frog, Chris Flores, who's he teamed up with Jason David. They're both like the owners of Stars. They had their camera guys come and film it. So, I got it all on film. And yeah, man, we did the whole thing. But they had their little camera crew. So, that's what I've been sending out to coaches.
Was that 442 legit?
Yeah, it's definitely legit. Like you could call Gary, and you could follow up with him. But yeah, it was definitely legit.
They can do crazy things. Things get digital these days. No, I'm just kidding. So how much contact did you get from NFL teams after that video went out?
I got like immediate, like I would say the next few days, it started getting heavy because around the combine, I wasn't getting any calls, to be honest. And like, it was crazy. Like 2 days after the virtual pro day, that's when I ran the 40. That's when I started picking up, and it's kind of followed up until like today pretty much. I've been getting calls ever since.
Have you been in contact with the 49ers?
Yeah, I was in. Yep, I've been in contact before. I talked to Wes Welker. And there's it's been mostly West Coast teams that have inquired about me.
Interesting. What have your conversations been like with Wes Welker, if you can say, and if not, I understand.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of been like every other team. Like they like me, they can see me fitting in the offense. They like the guy that I am, and a lot of what they've been saying is they like my film because with COVID-19 going on, you can't talk to any of these coaches in person and do private workouts, so they kind of have to rely on film. And that's what they've been saying stands out most about me, just the way I play the game, my story, me just playing with a chip on my shoulder. But yeah, that's what it's been.
How familiar are you with the 49ers offense?
I'm familiar with it. I mean, growing up, I've been a 49er fan. I live like 5 minutes from Candlestick Park right now. So their old stadium. So I've been watching games, as long as I could walk pretty much, as long as I could watch TV. So I've been watching them all my life.
Well, who was your favorite player growing up?
Jerry Rice, easily.
Of course.
Yeah, he was a highlight waiting to happen. Him and Joe Montana, what they were able to do, it was a dream of mine ever since I could play the game to play at that level and try to replicate what he did.
Sure. What do you notice about the way Kyle Shanahan uses his wide receivers?
He uses them in different ways. I mean, you see what Debo is able to come in there and do, and just seeing how in the red zone, Kendrick Bourne gets his love. And that's what I noticed. And Emmanuel, what he was able to do, they stretched the field with a lot of play action. But yeah, man, it looks like an exciting offense to play in.
Is there a wide receiver you'd compare yourself to in the league?
I would probably say DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay.
Yeah, just because, he catches the ball away from his body a lot. He knows how to get off press. He probably isn't the fastest guy ever, but, when you put the ball up in the air, he's going to come down with it. And I like Adam Thielen also from Minnesota. I like Adam. He's nice to me. I like
– What do you like about Adam? His route running?
His route running and the way his head fakes and the way he's able to, he's so deceptive with what he does. The corner really is always on his toes and never know what he's going to do.
Okay, final question. What do you have to offer an NFL team?
Just hard work. The thing about me is I'm never going to get complacent, because I know what it feels like to be a bottom of the list guy. So when I get my opportunity, what I'm saying, I'm going to make the most of it. And that's what I've been doing all the way up until this point in my life. And the guy that's just always going to put his best foot forward every time I step on the field, man, you're going to get 100 out of me every time. I worked so hard, my whole life. And there was times I could have given up. But just because I put my best foot forward and put my all in everything, I've gotten to the next level with this football thing. So that's just what I'm expecting for the NFL too.
Well, Easop, thank you so much. This was wonderful. Best of luck to you this week. I hope the Niners take you, and I'll be covering you. But
thank you,
one
man.
way or another, things will work out, man.
Thank you so much for having me, man. I appreciate it a lot.